So today is day 6 of my recovery. This is actually my second video because every day between the surgery and today was pretty much the same. I pretty much have just been sitting around the whole time, keeping my arm propped up on pillows. It actually hasn't been as bad of a recovery as I thought it would be, but today I just want to go through like the details of the day of the surgery, what to expect, because I had no idea. And I wish that someone was like, okay, so here's your itinerary. So anyways, I got to the hospital and we went to the welcome desk, and they're like, okay, so you need to go to check-in. So we walked over to the check-in desk, they gave us some paperwork, filled it out, gave it back to them, and then we went to like a little office and they did some financial stuff. My parents kind of took care of that. They just ask like, how are we gonna bill you? Do you want to pay today? Like, what do you want to do? So we took care of that, and then after that, it only took like 15 minutes. We went to the waiting room again. I thought we were gonna be there a while. About 2 minutes later, this guy comes up and he's like, okay, are you Miss Welch? Are you ready? And I was like, yeah, okay, I guess, because I was ready, I guess, but it's scary. Anyway, so we went upstairs. I did this at the Oklahoma Surgical Hospital, by the way, in Tulsa. So we went upstairs and they're like, okay, so we're gonna get you to pre-op, and everything was just happening really fast. Like, I thought there'd be more waiting. So we went to the pre-op room and they asked me a couple questions, just like the anesthesiologist came in and he's like, okay, open your mouth, let me see down your throat, and I had no idea that I was gonna get a tube down my throat. I'm so glad no one told me. But anyways, so I had to change into my gown and stuff, and then they came in to do the IV. I had a bad experience with that. They actually had to do it 3 times before they got one in, and I was freaking out. It was my very first IV ever. So my boyfriend was holding my hand, squeezing it really tight, but they also, right before the IV, they gave me some stuff to calm me down. My mom requested it. I don't remember what it was called, but it helped a lot. Everything was really funny about 10 minutes later, but it tasted horrible. So anyways, they finally get the IV in, and I've calmed down, I'm just laying there, and they're like, okay, so your surgery's scheduled for like an hour or something from now. So I just kind of got to lay there. My mom and my boyfriend were there. They were just talking to me. We were in the pre-op room. It was like my own little room, watching Law and Order, one that I'd seen, of course. So I waited for about an hour, but the time went by really fast because of the stuff that calmed me down. So if you could request that, I would, because it was really amazing. It made everything a lot better. So anyways, they finally come back in and they're like, okay, so time to head to surgery. And I'm, everything is funny because of this stuff. So I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And so they take me back there, and the room looked really weird. Like, hospital rooms that you see on TV for surgery look completely different. But there were like 4 nurses, and they were all like, all I remember is they were just like all around me, doing a bunch of stuff to me. Like, they put little sticky things all over me to like monitor my heart, I guess. And then one lady was like, okay, so I'm gonna give you some stuff through your IV to make you not care. And they didn't say they were putting me to sleep or anything, but that's when I fell asleep. And the next thing I remember is I wake up in like the post-op room, I guess, and I was so confused. Like, it was seriously confused. I just kept asking the nurse questions, and my head was going like this, and like I could barely sit up, and I just kept saying like, I want to see my mom, and I was asking her about stitches, I think. So anyways, she was just like, I have no idea. I guess they were waking me up, but I was asleep for about 4 hours. I think the surgery lasted 2 or 2.5, which was longer than I thought it would. But what they actually did was they had to fix my torn TFC, and then they did an ulnar shortening osteotomy, which is where they take part of the bone out. And then they did a PRP, I think, which is like a blood transfer thing. That was optional, but they said it would help me heal faster, just a little bit more. And so they took blood out of my right arm. I had surgery on my left arm, see? So they took blood out of my right arm for that while I was under. Anyways, I woke up with a really sore throat, and I was like, Mom, my throat hurts. And she's like, well, Kayla, they put a tube down your throat to your lungs. Like, what? I had no idea they were going to do that. Which I'm super glad they didn't tell me, because it would have freaked me out. So anyways, it took about an hour, I think, after I woke up. So like my mom, finally, I got moved to my own little, like, it wasn't really a room because there were like hanging curtains around me, just like my little rolly bed. I'd been rolled in there, And then my mom came, and my nurse that what are they called, like the nurses that let you out? Anyways, she went over everything with my mom because I was just like way out of it, like the anesthesia stuff. Sorry. Like that stuff made me really, really drowsy. So my mom came in, got all the details, and they rolled me out in a wheelchair. That was fun. It was really hard for me to stand up after because the anesthesia stuff. Sorry, I have no idea. That stuff made me super drowsy. So anyways, they rolled me out. My dad pulled the car around, and I got in, and I was just kind of feeling weird. Like, this cast is really heavy. I tried to weigh it. It's like 3 pounds maybe? I don't know. It was hard to weigh on my food scale. But anyways, so I got home. I wasn't nauseous or anything, but we had nausea bags. They sent 2 prescriptions to my pharmacy. It was 1 for nausea, 1 for pain pills. Oh, they sent 3. Antibiotics also. So I took antibiotics morning and night for 3 days after the surgery. And I took pain pills and nausea pills at the same time. So I took one before bed Tuesday night, which is the night of my surgery. Whenever I got home, I felt okay, but I was like, I was drowsy still. I was really tired. And I slept great that night. I had to keep my arm elevated. You're supposed to keep it up above your heart. But I felt awesome. There was actually like a tube that we had to take out 24 to 48 hours later. And my mom took it out about 40 or 48 hours later. And it was like a drain tube. And I thought it was just going to be in me like this much. Like that much. It was like 3 inches in me. Like, they had put this like long tube thing with like 20 little holes in my arm. It was so freaky. So after that finally came out, and it started to feel better. Like, the pain wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Because of that and the pain pills. I did not take them every 4 hours. I tried to take them less and less every day. Today's day 6. Now I'm just taking 1 in the mornings when I wake up and 1 before bed so that I can still sleep, because it does hurt. It hurts like where the stitches are, I think, and where the metal in my arm is. There's like pressure, and it's just really heavy. And my other arm hurts a lot too, because I have a bunch of bruises where they missed the IVs and stuff, which I get it happens, but like, dude, it hurt. I have 2 gigantic bruises, and then I'm bruising on the top of my arm. I'll see if I can show you. Here's where they took the blood for the transfusion thing. And then here's where they missed. And right there. Right there. Yeah, so I'm sorry, that was a bad angle. Anyways, so the bruises started to hurt. My right arm has been sore, and that's not even the one that I was operating on. But it's the only one I'm using also. I can wiggle my fingers. I was able to wiggle them from day 1, but I can't exactly straighten them. Like, my pinky flips out. See that? Every time I do that. But anyways. Oh, and I can move my thumb. Not that much, though. So, recovery really isn't as horrible as I thought it would be, because I have people helping me, If I was home alone, it'd be really hard. My dad's been taking care of all my pills and stuff. But overall, the process was great. The hospital was great. The doctors were great. I'm getting my big cast off on Wednesday, which is 4 days from today. They originally told me 2 weeks with the big cast, but at the doctor recovery place, they were like, so in 8 days, you can get your cast off. But I called and they said they won't take my stitches out yet. So that's just kind of what I've been going through. The day after surgery, every time I took the pain pills and the nausea pills, I slept for like 2 hours. Like, I just could not keep my eyes open. I guess the anesthetics stuff hadn't quite worn off yet either, but the pain pills and the nausea pills can make you really tired. They made me really tired. And yeah, I'm just keeping it elevated mostly. But sorry, this was way longer than I wanted it to be. I just want to give you guys details over everything that happened. But I'm not a nurse, I'm just a patient. I don't know everything. Definitely though, recommend my doctor. His name's Dr. Garrett Watts at Broken Arrow Orthopedics. He's really good. He's a hand surgeon specialist guy. And yeah, they got me in pretty fast, so I'm still trying to recover, but today's day 6, doing pretty good. I can like move around and stuff. You know, I get up a lot and walk around, but I am pretty tired. Like, after doing a little bit, I get pretty tired because I'm very low energy right now, I guess, and I'm usually a pretty high energy person, if you can't tell. But anyways, if you're thinking about having this surgery or you're about to, you know, I'd say just ask as many questions as you can to your doctor. I didn't ask enough, I don't think. I didn't know about a lot of things that were going to happen, but so far it's been okay. But anyways, thanks.